Samoa up against Ireland. The last game for both of these two Pool A teams. Currently, Ireland are sitting in second behind Japan in Pool A with 2 wins and a loss. Samoa can't progress through to the knockout stages. They are one win over Russia, but they've had losses to Scotland and Japan. So the best they can get would be to go level on points with Scotland. So I would say fourth is probably where they're going to end up no matter what, but there's still plenty of pride for those guys in this final game for them. So there's a wee bit of rugby history between these sides. Most of the sites I looked at said there's 6 games between them, although one site said 5, so hopefully it's 6. Of the last 5, Ireland have won 4. And the one that Samoa won is the oldest of the last 5. So those last 5 results span 1996 to 2013. So it has been a wee while since they've had a game together. The 1996 one was the Samoan win, 40 points to 25 over Ireland. But 1996 is a long time ago. I'd just not long come out of primary school. So yeah, things have changed a wee bit since then. The most recent game in 2013 was Ireland 40, Samoa 9, so kind of a shift in fortunes, and then Ireland's even taken steps forward since 2013 as well. Average score, though, over those 5 games is 32-16 to Ireland, so generally when they've met, Ireland have been relatively comfortable favourites without being absolutely one-sided. However, they have never met at a World Cup, so it's cool that these teams... Seems strange that they've both been to so many World Cups and yet never met. It's good that they finally get to do so. I'll put the teams in the description so you guys can have a look. It is still going to be an interesting game because it is one of the only games being played at least the only game on Saturday, with the other 2 games being cancelled, that being the All Blacks in Italy and England and France. So I guess more eyeballs on this one just due to it being the only game. It's in a different location, which is out of the Typhoon's danger zone, so that's it's good for all the fans that this one is a safe one to go to. Good for the players that they get to have this one final hit out. So yeah, I'll put teams in the description. Ireland's teams had a fair few changes, a lot of guys shifting from the bench and from the starting team down to the bench. So Larmour's up at 15. Carney is not in the team for this one. Keith Earls shifts one wing to the other. Jacob Stockdale is in on the left, so Earls moves to the right. Henshaw is in at 13, so Ringrose finally gets a break. Key is in at 12. Sexton continues on at 10, and Murray moves up from the bench at 9, but from memory he wasn't even used on the bench. Well, he was on the bench, but he didn't come on in that last game. McGrath played the full 80. Initially it was going to be Carbery, but then he pulled out of the squad late for that one against... was it against Russia? Yeah, it was against Russia. Cian Healy moves back into loose head. Rory Best back in a hooker. And Tadhg Furlong back up from the bench. Tight head, so it's kind of that familiar front row. Henderson up from the bench. And James Ryan back in the squad in the second row. Tadhg Beirne starts at number 6. So he's out from the second row. Van der Flier is back at 7 from outside the squad. And Stander is up from the bench at number 8. So it's a hugely changed squad with only Aki, Earls and Sexton, the guys who started that game along with Tadhg Beirne. But 2 of them, Beirne and Earls, have shifted positions. So yeah, it's only Aki and Sexton who are kind of going game to game, same position. The bench, Joey Carbery's there, Conway's down to the bench, McGrath, O'Mahony, Kleyn, Porter, Kilcoyne, Scannell, all these guys drop to the bench. Carbery's the only one who is a total change coming in from outside the squad. They did play on Thursday, and that was against Russia, so they've had more than a week's break, so they should be well rested and rearing to go for this one. And they need to play well. They need to go out and do a performance. We still don't know what's going to happen with that game for Japan and Scotland, but from Ireland's, all they can do is what they can control, and if they get a bonus point win, then they are through to the knockout stages. They get a quarterfinal. Bonus point win. If they don't get a bonus point win, but they still win, then the list of permutations is still... it's lengthy. You need paragraphs to decipher all the possibilities. It really depends who wins Scotland against Japan and whether there's losing bonus points, 4-try bonus points and whatnot. Ireland could go anywhere, I think, from finishing first, finishing second, or not even making it, depending on what happens in that other game, if they don't get a bonus point win in this one. If they lose this one and didn't get a bonus point, and if it was a bit of an upset, it'd be a miracle upset, but we've seen a few upsets in this World Cup, and the other game got cancelled, then Ireland would be out. Scotland would go on to 12 points. Ireland would be stuck on 11. So it's important for Ireland to get a win. I think they know that. The selection would suggest that as well. For Samoa, the changes are pretty minimal in a team which was much improved in their last game against Japan. They played on Saturday, so it's a week for them. So about kind of standard turnaround. Most of the players should be used to playing, week in, week out. So that's about normal. Nanai-Williams, Tuala, and Fidao are still there in the back three. Leiua and Tadhg, who was really good in that game against Japan. If you haven't seen it, kicked a lot of points and scored a try, Tadhg, so watch out for him. That's the midfield. Siuteni and Politaivao, 9 and 10, or 10 and 9. So the whole back line is the same. Mulipola comes in at loose head. Lamb, that's Seilala Lamb, and Alatoa are the front row, so only Mulipola has changed. Polo comes back in. Laupepe is partnering him in the second row. Vui, Ioane, and the other Lamb, that's Jack, make up the back row, which is again unchanged. The back rows are very good one for Samoa, so they're going to get into the thick of it too. Only changes on the bench is Fa'asaele moves down to the bench from the starting lineup. All the other guys are the same. Nuia, Alo-Emile, Lay, that's Jordan Lay, Tyrell, Cowley, PC, and Fonatia are all same as that last game, resuming their spots on the bench. So, like I said, for Samoa, in terms of this game, there's nothing in it for them in terms of possible progression. But as I said, these guys will be, looking to put a bit of pride back into the jersey, and they certainly lifted from that game, the Scotland loss where they were held to no points, to the Japan game where they were really pushed, and Japan just scored that try right at the end to get like a bonus point win over them. You can see that those guys bounced back. I guess they'll be looking to go one step further here and just go out on a high. But as I said, for Ireland, there's a lot at stake in this game, so they absolutely need to go out and get a bonus point win. I guess we'll see what happens. Rugby forecast, the algorithm has Ireland by 22. The bookies have Ireland by 28. So by either of those standards, you would imagine in most cases, if you win by 22 or 28, you're probably getting a bonus point win. It's kind of the expected result, but Ireland have still got to go out there and get it done. So thankfully we do have this game on Saturday. It's all safe for the people and the players and the staff and volunteers and all those people to get out for this one. Hopefully it's a good game of rugby. You guys let me know your thoughts on this one, the selections. How do you think these players are going to go? Do you think Ireland go out there and dominate the game, or do you think the pressure may get to them a little bit? You guys let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.